Morning everybody, welcome to today's class. Good to see that we've got some sunshine again today. Let's get started. So we're going to do a little stretch out, which we've done all week so far. I'll just come forward so you can see me. So you're going to interlace those fingers. Bring your arms out in front so they're slightly curved. Pull that tummy in to curve your back and drop your head through that space in between your arms. Just taking nice deep breaths in and out. Dropping those hands, take the arms behind, reaching back and lifting that chest. Going in front again, interlacing those fingers, take the arms forwards and curving through the back. And coming behind, interlace the fingers, reaching back, lifting that chest. And relaxing there, we're going to go onto our mats on our back for our breathing. So as you come onto your back, same as always, we're going to take those knees bare, feet on the floor. You're looking up towards the ceiling. And we want to have that slight curve underneath our lower back. So from here, we're going to take nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through a pursed lip. We're breathing in and out. So as you're taking these nice deep breaths in and out, I want you to think about the position of those hips. So you want to keep them nice and level. Imagine you've got a torch on each hip bone and they're shining up parallel to one another onto the ceiling. We're keeping the upper body nice and relaxed. So you're thinking shoulders away from the ears, chest is nice and open. Keeping the weight evenly placed through your feet. So big toes will turn heel. Just gently tightening through the tummy. The next time that you breathe out, I want you to tuck your pelvis under, so you're flattening your lower back into the mat. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to release out to neutral. Tucking under to flatten, holding there, and releasing out. So as you're tucking under, we want to try and find a nice strong flat back position. So we're using the tummy muscles and the pelvis to move. Try and avoid squeezing your bottom if you can. For this next one, we're going to hold our flat back. So whilst holding that flat back position, we're going to start to tighten in the pelvic floor. So as you breathe out, you're tightening all the way in with the pelvic floor. Inhale to release. Exhale to tighten. Inhale to release. So you're thinking of the sensation of stopping the wee mid-flow. So as you're tightening, you should feel as though your tummy muscles are working harder, that your back is slightly flatter into the floor. We're going to halve this contraction. 50% tightening in the pelvic floor as you exhale. Inhale to release. So we still want to keep that upper body nice and relaxed. Shoulders down, chest is nice and open. And if you're feeling really tight for your upper body, just turn those palms up towards the ceiling. We're pulling the tummy down towards the spine. We're going to keep that weight even through the feet. So big toe, little toe and heel. We're halving one last time. So 20 to 25% tightening. So this should feel like a very gentle lifting. Something that you could sustain throughout any exercise if you needed to. It's just working in the background. So your flat back position should feel nice and strong. You're using your tummy muscles and your pelvic floor to help you to stay there. We're going to bring both legs up into tabletop. So you want your knees to be lifted above your hips and your shins parallel to the ceiling. And from there we're going to go into toe taps. So we're tapping down to the floor and lifting up, swapping sides each time, tapping down and lift. So you've got both legs in tabletop, one will stay there all the time. Nice deep breaths. Keep the tummy nice and pulled down. Use your pelvic floor. Relaxing those shoulders. Let's take 2 more on each side. We're tapping down and lift. Tapping down and lift. Last one on each side. Tap down and lift. Tapping down and lift. From there, you're going to hug those knees in towards the chest. And then we'll be on our hands and knees for our stretch in our back. So as you come onto your hands and knees, on your hands underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath those hips, tummy's nice and tightened. As you breathe out, we're going to tuck that pelvis under so we start to curve the back. We're arching the spine, dropping the head. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhaling, let the pelvis come back out to your start position. Working through the spine. The head lifts. So we're going to tuck under to curve. Arching the spine. Dropping the head, we hold. Releasing out, piece by piece, lifting the head. So trying to work through each section piece by piece. If you have got any areas that are feeling really stiff or sore, we're just going to slow them down. About working into each section, vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice deep breath. So as you're curving your back, you're pulling the tummy all the way in. As you return to your start position, let those shoulders come away from the ears. Let's take 2 more here. We're tucking under to curve. Arch the back. Dropping that head, we hold. Releasing out through the spine. Lifting the head, we've got 1 more here. Tucking under to curve. Arching the back. Dropping that head, we hold. Releasing out. And lifting the head. From there, take a shell stretch back. So bottom to your feet. Reach those arms out in front. And then we're going to be going on to our sides. So as you're laying on your side for our chest opening stretch, we're going to take those legs together, knees are bent. Resting down, take the arms out long, palm to palm. So from here, we're going to lift this top arm up so your fingertips point to the ceiling. Taking the head with you, we're twisting away. Holding here for our stretch. Before you lift back up and over to come down palm to palm. So we're lifting the top arm up, fingertips point to the ceiling. Take the head with you. We're twisting away. Holding here to stretch. Before lifting back up and over. To come down palm to palm. So we want to keep our legs glued together. So you're getting this twist through your waist. Nice deep breaths. Stretching the arm from the fingertips all the way into your armpit. In this nice open position in your chest. We're looking at that hand for as long as we can. Keeping a good range of movement through the neck. Let's take 2 more here. We're lifting that top arm up. Fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. And we're lifting back up and over. Coming down palm to palm. Last one here, we're lifting up. Fingertips to the ceiling. Taking the head with you. We're twisting away, we hold. Then we're going to lift back up and over. Come down palm to palm. From here we're swapping sides. So you can either roll over to face the other direction on your mat, or we're changing the end of the mat that we're laying at. So again, these bent, resting down, take those arms nice and long. We're going to be lifting that top arm up, fingertips point to the ceiling. Taking the head with you, and twisting away. Holding here for our stretch, before lifting back up and over, to come down palm to palm. Lifting that arm up, fingertips point to the ceiling. Taking the head with you. We're twisting away, we hold. Before lifting back up and over. To come down palm to palm. So remember, those legs need to stay glued together and they're grounded. Making sure your twist comes through your waist. Nice deep breaths. The arm is reaching long from the fingertips all the way into your armpit. Really opening up through your chest. We want to look at this hand for as long as we can. Try and keep a good range of movement on both sides of the neck. Let's take 2 more here. Lifting up. Take the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. And we're coming back up and over. Last one here, we're lifting up, fingertips to the ceiling. Take the head with you. Twisting away, we hold. before lifting back up and over. To come down palm to palm. From here we're going to come into a full body stretch. You can roll onto your back for this if you prefer. We are going to be on our backs for the next exercise, but if you need a drink then you can grab one. Just get myself set up. So on your back, you're on the knees, bent feet on the floor. Again, we're curved under the lower spine. Take those arms down, resting beside you. We're going to take a nice deep breath in to nod the head, chin to chest. Exhale to lift the shoulders up from the floor, reach those arms long. Take a deep breath in to stay. Exhale to control back down. Chin to chest. Lifting up, we hold. Control back down. So we're using the tummy muscles to lift us. Pulling that belly button all the way down. Your chin to chest position is here to keep that neck nice and relaxed. So think about a nice big nod of the head, then pulling that tummy down. Get the shoulders away from the ears, you're reaching those arms nice and long. Let's take two more here, then we'll add some movement in. Chin to chest, lifting up. We hold, control back down. Last one here, chin to chest, lifting up. We hold, control back down. We're adding in our pulses, so we're still going chin to chest. Lifting up. Here we're going to do 4 pulses, pulsing up, 2, 3, 4. Control back down. Chin to chest. Lifting up. We pulse. 2, 3, 4. Control back down. You can support the head here if you need to. Remember, those hands are behind the head. You're still using that chin to chest position to keep the neck nice and relaxed. Wherever your hands are, we want to make sure those shoulders stay down. You're taking nice deep breaths. Let's take 2 more sets here. Chin to chest, lifting up. We pulse. 2, 3, 4. Control back down. Last one here, chin to chest, lifting up. We pulse. 2, 3, 4. Control back down. Hug those knees into your chest. And then from there, you're going to be either on your knees or laying on your front. I'll come a little bit further forward so that I'm in shot a bit better. So if you don't like bearing weight on your knees, which is absolutely fine, you can lay on your front, nice and long through the body, hands mat width apart, and you're going to chest lifts. If not, we're going to be in knelt position. We've been doing this one for ages, so I'm still a little bit cut off, kind of a bit closer. Okay, so legs are behind you, or your lower leg is. If you know you suffer from cramp, you can always tuck those toes under if you want to. If not, just resting down. Shoulders are down, keep them relaxed. Remember to just be aware of that curve in your lower back. If you feel like you are really curved, just think of tucking that bottom under, which should help to reduce that a little bit. From here, slight nod in of your head just to relax through the neck. As you breathe in, you're going to pull this tummy all the way in, and we're going to lean back. Exhale to squeeze, coming back up. My movement is really tiny, but you can make yours bigger if you want to. Just make sure that your lean is from your knees, not from your hips. You shouldn't be hinging here. You should be leaning back, controlling the hips, firing up through the front of your thighs. Leaning back and lift. So you're using your exhale and a squeeze of your bottom to help to drive you back into that starting position. Remember, those shoulders are down. Really tighten through the tummy here. Let's take 2 more here, then we'll add some more movement. So we're going into adding movement. This is going to be the same if you're laying on your front or if you're on your knees. So you're going to take a nice big roll back of your shoulders. Your arms will come behind you. Then we lean. Lifting up. So still try and keep it as a breath in to lean back. Exhale to lift. Think of that roll of the shoulders, taking them down away the back. You're still using the squeeze of your bottom to drive yourself forwards. So you're trying to really open up that chest. Got 2 more here. Nice big circle of the shoulders. Leaning back. Squeeze and lift. Last one, big circle of the shoulders. Lean back, keep that tummy tightened. Good. From there, whichever position you've been in, you're going to go into a shell stretch. So you take the bottom back towards the feet and bring those arms out in front. From there, we're going onto our backs for the 100. So if you come onto your back, and I'll just talk you through what we're going to be doing. So as you lay on your back, you just want to have those knees bent, feet on the floor. Just however is comfortable for your back for now. It will be in a flat back position, but just find a comfortable position for now. So tucked under in a nice flat back position, I'm going to ask you to lift your legs up and lengthen them as much as you can. Always say this, and I always bang on about it, but it doesn't matter here if the knees are still quite bent. It is the longest position that you can maintain with your legs. So if you know that straightening your legs fully will mean you'll have to give up halfway through, add a bend in them. If you find that straight leg position super easy and comfortable, and start to bring those legs closer towards the floor, keeping your flat back. That'll add an extra challenge in if you want to do that. Try and have them longer than tabletop, but don't worry if they're still quite bent. From there, we're going to be nodding the head and lifting the shoulders away from the floor, with the arms long and palms facing the floor. So you put your 100 beats up and down, 5 as you breathe in, 5 as you breathe out, which I will count for you, so your arms will look like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, with those legs lifted. From there, you're going to bring your hands behind your head. The legs are still nice and long. We're going into 2 sets of 8, sitting up towards those legs. After that, you're going to rest the head down, shoulders rest down, arms come down to the mat. Your legs are still long and they're going to crisscross. Your legs are going to crisscross, just like my arms are here, for 2 sets of 8. And if your legs are bent, then it's the lower part of your leg that will crisscross. And then we relax and we take a stretch. So find that really strong flat back position, tuck under, lose that gap. When you're ready, lift those legs up and lengthen them as much as you can. Then we're going to nod the head, lift those shoulders, bring the arms nice and long, palms facing the floor. And we inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pelvic floor, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tummy in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Staying there, take the hands behind your head. We've got sit-ups for 8, 7, 6, breathe, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8 more, 8, 7, 6, tummies in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your head down, your arms come down beside you, your legs are crisscrossing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing there. Hug those knees in briefly, then bring yourself into a nice long full body stretch. From there, bring yourself up into a seated position. Grab yourself a drink if you need one. As you come into a seated position, I'm just going to be elevated for comfort reasons. We're going to bring those legs out long and in front of you. So nice and long, reaching out in front. We've done this stretch all week so far, so if you have already done a class, it'll be the same. Your legs are going to be quite close together if you can. I'll have mine a little bit further apart just to accommodate my bump. If you want to increase the stretch through your lower leg, you're going to be flexing those feet, pushing your toes up towards your face, which will start to lengthen and stretch in the calves. If not, keep them nice and relaxed. You have your hands either on your legs or beside them, whichever is best for you. If you know you find sitting uncomfortable, you can be seated on a raised block or an arc barrel like this if you have one, or a step, anything like that will help. So we're going to start nice and tall through the body. So we're going to add a little roll down in. So think chin to chest, and start to roll those shoulders forwards. We're going to just walk the hands out in front. So that's either down your legs or beside them. Doesn't matter really where they're going here. But I want you to think about dropping that head, keeping the head nice and heavy. Nice deep breaths. Just let that upper body start to feel really heavy. Not necessarily reaching forwards anywhere. Your hands just resting to where they've walked forwards. You're taking those nice deep breaths. You can just creep those hands a little further forwards. I'm just going to walk those hands back up. Start to re-stack the spine and relax those shoulders. From there, we're going to take our legs into a wider position. So you can have your legs really nice and wide open if you know you've got that flexibility and comfort through your hips. Alternatively, it doesn't matter if they're quite narrow like mine are here or even narrower. What you want to have is some gap between the legs. Again, we're going to have the feet really flexed if you can, which will fire up underneath these calves. If that's too much for you, just let them relax. I'll have mine slightly bent, but just for my own comfort reasons. So this time your hands are going to be through the middle and you're going to be walking them forwards like that, okay? So start up nice and tall. And again, we're going to go chin to chest. Start to roll forwards and walk those hands out as far as you can go down the centre between the two legs. Remember, you've got that head hanging really heavy, chin to chest. If you feel there's tension through the neck, just give your head a little rock from side to side as if you're shaking the head to say no. Remember those deep breaths. Feeling the body lift and fall. Nice and control of that breathing. Staying in this position, you're going to take your hands out onto the legs. So your hands are now, your arms are now coming wide. Again, it doesn't matter what position your legs are in, how wide they are apart from each other. By moving those arms out from the centre onto the legs, you're opening up in the chest a little bit here. Still allowing that head to drop. And just those arms to just rest on the legs wherever is comfortable for you. So it doesn't matter if that's towards the knee, towards the foot, or somewhere in the middle of the shin. From there, we're just going to walk those hands back up the legs. Re-stack the spine to sit tall. Take both feet in so that your legs are nice and wide in the hips. And we're going to add in our bounce, but not our quick bounce. We're going to have that resisted pulling down. So you're thinking of something pressing into your knees to push them down towards the mat if you can, and relax. Pushing them down and out. So the movement will be quite subtle. Push them away and relax. Pushing them away and relax. So just some resistance there as you think about them pushing down and away. Staying tall through the body, relax those shoulders. We'll do 2 more of these, pushing away and relax, pushing away and relax. From there, take hold of those feet and bring your body down towards them. And here's where you can push those elbows in towards the knees if you want to. Good, relax there, give those legs a little shake out, grab a drink if you need one. And this is where we're going to be on our sides to work our legs. Just get myself set up. Good, so as we lay on our sides, I'm going to take the legs out nice and long. And you want to have, let me just move that weight, your bottom arm long for you to rest your head on. If you find that really uncomfortable, you suffer from pins and needles or anything like that, and just bend the elbow and support your head in your hand. What we want to have is these hips stacked directly one on top of the other. It's probably getting quite hard for you to see this now through my body, but what you want to have is this hip directly on top of this bottom hip, okay? And it should feel like you're balancing, so you need to tighten your tummy in order to keep you there. If you feel quite comfortable, you're probably sitting quite far back or too far forward, so just be aware of that if that's what you're doing. You can obviously use this hand for support. If you flex your feet and look down your body, I want you to be able to see your toes. If you're not able to, you just bring them a little bit further forwards. We're not in just a directly straight line. Your legs are slightly forwards of the body. From here, I want you to lift this top leg up pointed, just to hip height, no higher. Flex to come back down. Point to lift. Flexing down. So you're working through the ankle as you're pushing from that pointed to flexed position. You're keeping the tummy nice and tightened. Deep breaths. We have 2 more here. We're lifting up pointed. Flex to come down. Lift up pointed. Flex to come back down. We lift up again pointed, but here we're going to circles forwards for 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg slightly forwards. You're now leaning into that front knee. This hip will come forwards. Here your underneath leg is going to lift up and down. Lifting up and down. Lift and down. Breathe. 4 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. Last 2. Lift and down. Lift and down. Use your hand to help to push you back up. Just check you're in that nice stacked position again. Here we're going to go lifting to hip height. Bottom leg meets it. Come back down. We're going to lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. Breathe. Lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. 2 more. Lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. Double lift, coming up and down. Up and down. Deep breaths. Lift and down. Tummies tighten and down. Lift and down. Lift and down. 2 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. We're going to go into our hinging through our waist. I haven't done this for a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure if I'll still be able to, but we're going to do it anyway. So if you have been in this lifted position, resting your head in your hand, drop down to here, and you're thinking about pressing into this long arm to be able to lift your upper body and your under your armpit and your head off of the floor. You'll probably be able to lift a lot higher than me because I'm now lifting a lot more. So don't worry if you feel like you're lifting quite high. Also, it doesn't matter if the lift is small. It's, again, as always, where you can work. Ideally, we want this hand on the hip, but if you feel like you need some extra support, come onto the floor. Double leg lift, as well as that upper body lift. We're going to go for 8. Here we go. We're lifting up and down. Lift and down. We're lifting up and down. Breathe and down. 4 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. We're lifting up and down. Last one. Lift and down. Relaxing there. Nearly knocked over my cup of water there. Changing sides. So either rolling over to face the other way, or changing the end of your mat that you're laying at. Sorry, it takes me a lot longer to change positions than it used to. So remember, you're laying on that arm if you can. If that's not very comfortable, bend and support the head. Get those hips really stacked. So remember that you're wanting to have one hip directly above the other. I'm hoping that's quite clear from what I'm doing. It should feel like you're having to balance. So if you're feeling that's quite easy, you might be leaning forwards or leaning back. So check that, and remember you can have that hand for support. Flex those feet. Can you see your toes? If not, bring them slightly further forwards. We want more of an angled line than a straight line here. Use this hand for support if you need to. We're lifting up pointed, flexing to come back down, just to hip high, lift up pointed, flexing down, lifting up pointed, flexing down, deep breaths. Working through that ankle, lift and down. 2 more here, point to lift, flexing down, point to lift, flexing down. We lift up again to hip height pointed so that we can circle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring that leg forward, so you're now leaning into that knee. The hip has come forwards here. Underneath leg is lifting up and down. Lift and down. Breathe, lift and down. Lift and down. Lift and down. 4 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. We're lifting up and down. Lift and down. From there, use your hand to push you back up. We're restacking here. So remember that tummy needs to be tightened. Hips on top of one another. Lifting up. The other leg comes to join it. And down. Lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. Breathe. Lift, lift and down. Halfway here. Lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. Last 2. Lift, lift and down. Lift, lift and down. Double lift. Coming up and down. Up and down. Breathe. Lift and down. Lift and down. 4 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. Last 2. Lift and down. Lift and down. So going into that hinging, if your elbow is bent and you're supporting the head, then drop down just for this one. Pushing into that arm, into the arm long in the hand to get that lift from the armpit downwards. Ideally hand on the hip, but if not, take that hand to the floor if you need to. Legs going to lift together as well. Here we go. We're lifting up and down. Lift and down. We're lifting up and down. Lift and down. 4 more. Lift and down. Lift and down. Last 2. Lift and down. Lift and down. Relaxing there. Take a full body stretch. Roll onto your back and give those legs a nice shake out. When you're ready, bring yourself up. We're going to be on our hands and knees. Grab yourself a drink if you need one. So we're going to be going straight into our knee lifts. So, on your hands and knees, you're taking those hands under the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. If your wrists feel really sore, we've got planks coming up. So if you want to drop yourself down to your forearms, it doesn't matter if you're here, just lower to the floor. We're tucking those toes under. As you breathe out, I want you to press into your hands and your knees, pulling your tummy all the way in to lift those knees off just an inch or so from the floor. Inhale down. Exhale to lift. Inhale down. And down. And down. So you're thinking tummy muscles are lifting you. Your hands and your feet are here for support. As you're lifting, you want to keep that head in line with the rest of the spine. So if you're on long arms, you're looking past those fingertips. If you're on your forearms, then just look straight down to your mat. What we're trying to avoid is dropping the head or forcing the head up. Let's take 4 more here. We're lifting up and down. Lift and down. Last 2, lift up and down. Lift up and down. From there, take yourself into a shell stretch and roll through those wrists. Then we're going to go into our planks. So if you've joined in this week with this class already, then you'll know what we're doing. If not, we're going to be doing chest press up. So they're just your standard press up with the arms shoulder width apart. I want you to really think about what we did 2 weeks ago before I went away with just holding a really strong, well-positioned plank. That's what we want before we add any press up in. So, if you can't be on your long arms, if you have to be on forearms, obviously you're taking the press up out. If you're on long arms, then have the hands forwards on your mat. You're going to step one leg out behind you, take your weight into those toes. The other leg then comes out to join it. We're going to tuck ourselves under into our nice long plank position. Here is where you're then going to add your bend of your elbows and straighten. Then you can relax. So you're going to step back, find that strong plank. Then you're going to add your bend, straighten and relax. Keep going here. So what's really important is that you get your strong plank position before you start to add any press up. So in that nice long diagonal line, you're squeezing your bottom, you're pulling your tummy in. Don't let those hips drop, because if you do, all you're doing is having loads of pressure in your spine and you're actually restricting the amount that you can move there. Keep them nice and high, working those arms as you bend and straighten. It doesn't matter if your bend is small. A press up or a push up, as some people call it, is what it says on the tin. It's a push or press up. So if you're bending all the way down to the floor, that's great, but if you can't push yourself all the way back up again, you're not doing the movement correctly. So even if that bend is tiny, as long as you can push yourself up and that's a challenge, then you're doing the movement correctly. And that's more important than that depth. The quality of the movement is more important. Make sure you're breathing, especially as you're taking that press up. Don't hold your breath at any point. That's going to make it a lot harder. It's going to make it feel a lot harder to do if you're holding your breath there. Just staying nice and strong. Bend and straighten. Just take your time between the movements if you need to. There's no rush here. I'd rather that you took it nice and slow and steady, so you're getting that quality rather than speeding through them. We're going to take 2 more here. So we're going to step back, come into that strong plank position. We're going to bend, straighten and relax. Last one here, step back, find that strong plank. We're going to bend, we're going to straighten and relax. I want you to take a stretch back and really roll through those wrists. And then we're going to take a little stretch out. I'm going to do that seated, just for my own comfort really, more than anything else. So we're going to do a little neck stretch. I find lots of people get really tense through their neck when they're doing press-ups because they hold it all there. You can do this seated, kneeling, standing, whatever you find the most comfortable. This is just the easiest for me to stay in shot and to be pain-free. We've done this one loads, we usually do it at the start. We're just going to tip that head over, bring your arm across onto the ear, pulling the head down, and just reaching the arm away. So stretching down the side of the neck, into the shoulder. Swapping sides, just going to tip over, take that hand across, reaching the arm away. One more time on each side, tip that head over, bring the arm on top of the ear, pulling down, reach the arm away. Last time on the other side, bring the arm over. Good, then we're just going to take a nice roll back of those shoulders. And forwards. Taking those arms out to the sides, we're lifting up. We're stretching over. Coming back to the centre, we're lifting up. We're stretching over. Coming back to the centre, one more time on each side. Up, stretching over. Back to the centre, lifting up and over. Back to the centre and relaxing there. That's the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining me today for class. So here I'm going to do a little bit of waffling. If you've already watched or done a class this week, then I will have already waffled on about this. So I'm really sorry if you're hearing a repeat. I sent out a message yesterday to the majority of people who were already clients of mine before lockdown happened. If you didn't receive a message from me and you were a client of mine in class or PT before we went into lockdown, check your junk folder if you usually get an email, check WhatsApp and text, and if you still haven't had anything, then drop me a message to prompt me, because I may have just missed some people off the list, and if I have, I'm really sorry about that. I am going to be continuing classes after this week for 3 more weeks, which will bring me up to 30 weeks of pregnancy. So I'm 26 weeks today. So this will be 4, 3, 2, 1, leading up into that week 30. My reasons for that are because I'm just starting to get really uncomfortable, moving around mostly on the floor and in some positions, and it just feels a bit difficult for me to teach without doing the exercise when I'm watching myself in the camera and I can't see everybody else. Of course, all of my videos will stay up on YouTube, on Miranda Whiting, and on my business Facebook page, WD Fitness. I can always share those directly to people if they can't find them. And if you have any questions, whether it is about what I've just said, if it's not made any sense, or going forwards, if it's about stuff that you can do or add into your fitness routine, please feel free to message me. Even when I've finished, which will be the very end of August, I'll still be at the end of the phone or email, WhatsApp message, text, however you get hold of me, and more than happy to help. Even after I've had the baby, please feel free to keep that line of contact open with me, because I'm more than happy to help anyone who wants a little bit of advice on anything. It may be that once I finish, I put the odd video up here and there if I'm doing some stretching. It will just keep me motivated. But most of all, thanks to everyone who's been joining me. Like, it's been just as good for me as it has for you, and I don't think I would have done as much Pilates if I hadn't have known I had this commitment to film it. So thank you for that as well. I'm going to stop waffling now, but I hope you all have a lovely day, and that I see lots of you for the rest of the week, and if not, for the following 3 weeks. Take care. Bye bye.